A presentation of Fox Sports.
We are sports. We are Southeast.
We welcome you to Nationals Park in Washington, D.C., where the Atlanta Braves tonight hope to start another win streak. Daniel Murphy and the Nationals have reloaded their lineup for Game 2 of the series after Atlanta's 6-game win streak came to an end at the hands of Max Scherzer. It's a beautiful night for baseball. Hi again, friends. Joe and Chip, welcome to the ballpark. Braves gave the Nats a scare last night, falling 6-4. Mark Melanson almost spoiled Max Scherzer's big win for Washington. But speaking of big stories, how about the week of Freddie Freeman? He was honored by the National League earlier today.
He was named the Player of the Week by Major League Baseball in the National League, and why not? He had great numbers all week long, and it's just a continuation of what he's done really since the beginning of the second half after the All-Star break. One of the things that I always say about Freddie is that when he's struggling, he's out on his front foot and kind of drifts out on it a little bit. We haven't seen a sign of that since maybe May. He is tearing it up. He's driving the ball to all parts of the ballpark, and it's really fun to watch. And who better to win the Player of the Week than an Atlanta Brave, the way they've been playing.
And here's a look inside the numbers for Freddie Freeman. A .400 average, 2 homers, 3 doubles. He's on an extra base binge. And as we've said, Joe, so often how Freddie Freeman goes, so goes this Braves ball club. But with Gio Gonzalez on the mound, there's some other guys who can get some work done against the talented Nationals lefty.
Yeah, Gio has a .202 average against him by lefties, so it'll be a little tough for those guys tonight. Look for the left-handed hitters to try to get after Gio early in the count.
And we'll welcome Williams Perez back into the starting rotation. We'll see how Williams fares on a hot, steamy night for baseball here in Washington. The Braves and the Nets. Game 2 of the series is coming up right after a break.
Presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
coming up here in the top of the first. He's been a big problem for the Atlanta offense the last couple of times out this year.
30 years old, 6 feet 205, out of Hialeah, Florida. His last 10 starts have been outstanding. A 3.02 ERA. He's gone 6-1 with a very low batting average against him. And his career against the Braves, good stuff, especially this year. And a start at the beginning of the year where he went 6 shutout innings. His last 3 games at home against the Braves, very good numbers, a sub-1 ERA. Fastball, curveball, change, and he has a very good curveball.
And as Joe mentioned, 3 of the first 5 hitters for Atlanta are left-handed. And lefties have not hit Gio very well this year. Let's see what Ender Inciarte can do. He's one of the hottest hitters in baseball. In fact, he's got the longest hit streak working in the major leagues at 16 consecutive games. And the first of the night is off the plate, and we're underway in Washington. 89 degrees at first pitch. We've had very nice weather this entire road trip. And here in Washington, the temperature has gradually gotten warmer with each passing day.
Gio draws an interesting line straight from the pitching rubber, perpendicular from the rubber to home plate, and he tries to step on the first base side of that line with every delivery.
And he must have dinner plans because he is rapid firing here in the first.
Well, we're told that one of the reasons over those last 10 games that he's pitched so well is that he has sped up his work.
Line drive into center field on a 2-2 pitch, and Ender Inciarte's hit streak is at 17 consecutive games. And a good start for the left-handed hitters for the Braves. Our leadoff hit.
Like all fastballs there to Ender. There's the splits that I'm talking about. A 2.02 average by lefties, only 1 home run out of 17 allowed. Mighty tough, especially with that curveball, and that's why I think most of the guys, the left-handers anyway, will try to jump on the first pitch if they get a good one to hit.
Adonis Garcia is the hitter for the Braves. He's reached safely in 6 of his last 7 games with a knock. He showed bunt and took a strike. Adonis was 1 for 5 here yesterday against Max Scherzer, who was absolutely terrific. He was painting corners from the very first pitch and picked up the win in game 1. And that's over but low. Carlos Torres is the home plate umpire. Interesting note on Carlos Torres. He's the 2nd Venezuelan umpire in the major leagues. Manny Gonzalez the 1st. 2 balls and a strike for Adonis Garcia, the Braves' 3rd baseman. Up and in. Now Adonis in the driver's seat. 3 balls and a strike.
Yeah, a little command issue here early going. His last start at Philadelphia, 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. That 1 run was on a home run and only 1 walk.
Line drive into right center field. That's going to get down and roll for a while. Ender's around second, on his way to third. He's going to score. Garcia's at second with a double, and 2 batters in. The Braves have jumped on Gio Gonzalez for a 1-0 lead.
There are a lot of things to like about Adonis Garcia and what he has done this year, especially in the second half. But among them are pitches like this. 3-1 count, He wasn't trying to pull the ball. He drove it into the gap in right center field, and we've seen him do it time and again.
So 5 RBIs for Garcia against Washington, 51 RBIs for the year. And now Freeman, Kemp, and Markakis are lurking, with Atlanta already in front by a run. The other great thing about the lineup for Atlanta, we've talked a lot about the lefty-righty interchangeability for Brian Snitker. The lefties that the Braves have in their top 5 spots hit left-handed pitchers well, including Freddie, who's got 6 of his 29 homers and a .289 average against lefties. And this one smoked right through the legs of the umpire at second. And in the shift, Espinosa makes the play. Garcia to third with 1 out. Oh, the nimble feet of Jerry Davis. And he sheepishly heads toward left field.
Yeah, I don't know that any other person in America would call him nimble-footed, but he didn't have any choice there. Another hard hit ball by the player of the week. Look out, Jerry.
That's a heck of a play by Espinosa. So runner at third for Kemp, 1 out. Inciarte led off with a single, scored from first on Garcia's double to right center. Now Matt Kemp can put a crooked number on the board here in the first as well.
This is an area where Gio has struggled this year. Men on base, runners in scoring position, a .342 average against him, .373 with 2 out. Green light here perhaps for Matt Kemp with a lefty on deck. Good numbers against Gio.
He did have the green light, but fouled it away at the plate. 3 balls and a strike. Dusty Baker trying to solve the riddle of Gio Gonzalez. He's won 10 games, but he's got a 4+ ERA. The pitch is grounded to the left side. Rendon's going to concede the run. Kemp put it in play and brings home Garcia. It's 2-0. 25 RBIs for Kemp. This is his 34th game as a Brave. And for the season, that's his 94th run batted in.
Good break. No hesitation by Adonis also. If he freezes a little bit there, he doesn't get that run across for Kemp.
So an excellent start. Nick Markakis with 2 outs, 2 in. That's way high. And the count, a ball and 2 strikes. Gonzalez has struck out 190 or more hitters in 3 seasons in the big leagues. He enters play tonight with 156 of them. 6 off of his total for last season, where he made just 27 starts. He's past that plateau with start number 28 here tonight. He's had a lot of deep counts in the early going.
He's throwing hard. 93 is about the top shelf for him.
That sprayed foul left side into the second deck. That's got 3 of the major food groups in one spot.
And the plastic bags hanging off his ears. I like that.
3-2. Swing and a high fly ball, shallow right. Bryce Harper near the line, near the stands, avoids the ball girl and makes the play. And that retires the side. But an excellent start for the Braves. Garcia and Kemp with RBIs in the first. Williams Perez on 2-run lead.
Tuesday night Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Mazda.
Great start for the Braves. 2 in the first against Gio Gonzalez. And now we welcome back Williams Perez to the Atlanta rotation. It's been a long time since Williams has thrown a pitch in the big leagues.
Yeah, he's missed 77 games with that rotator cuff strain, but he's back tonight. Those are his numbers for his 9 starts this season. It's been a while since he's been out there. Let's check out his 4 keys to pitching success. He has had all kinds of problems in his career in the first inning. Don't let that happen tonight. Change of season. Well, maybe so. It is the same season, but that changeup is his best pitch.
And let's see if the Braves can find a way to solve Trey Turner. This guy is just wearing out Atlanta pitching. Turner has 37 at bats against the Braves, 16 hits, 3 homers, and 10 runs batted in.
That's a difference maker, isn't it?
And a shot to center is going to be caught by Inciarte, and Perez gets the leadoff man. And your point about his first inning trouble is worth mentioning. 29 career starts. Williams has allowed 20 first inning runs, and he's facing a Washington team, Joe, that likes to strike early.
Yeah, they're one of the best in the business at getting on the board early, and especially with Trey Turner now at the top of the order, it's almost been automatic.
And I'm sure Williams, when he looked at the lineup card, said, wait a minute. Yesterday, Ryan Weber got to face all the extra players, but I got to face the Nationals playoff lineup tonight. See how he does against Jason Worth, hitting second and playing left field. big differences for the Nationals this year as opposed to last season is the relative health of their club. Like every team, they've had their share of bumps and bruises and injuries, but their core guys for the most part have been very healthy. Unlike last season when the Nationals had their envisioned lineup together for only a handful of games, less than 10. That's not been the case for Dusty Baker this year.
And keeping their veteran players on the field, as you say, has been a real difference maker for them, and the leadership part of that.
Strike three. Worth frozen over the outside corner at 94 miles an hour.
Wow.
So far so good for Williams Perez. 2 outs. And here's Daniel Murphy, the MVP candidate for Washington. Bryce Harper's already won an MVP. He's cleaning up. Rendon, Ramos, Zimmerman is back. Espinosa drops to 8th and Gio Gonzalez 9th.
It's a good lineup, packed with power.
.25 homers, 98 RBIs for Daniel Murphy, 38 doubles. He's had 5 seasons in a row of 37 doubles or more, dating back to his days with the Mets. And he enters play with a .340 batting average.
His career high in homers was last year, 14.
He's trying to chase down DJ LeMahieu of the Rockies, who has a 4-point lead for the National League Batting Championship.
And he will complain on every called strike.
That sprayed beyond the Braves dugout foul. Murphy's still alive at 2-2.
There are a lot of good hitters who think that if I don't swing at it, then it can't be a strike. And it's that mentality that makes them a tough out and a good hitter.
And one of the toughest guys to strike out is the man in the batter's box. These are old-fashioned type numbers. 486 at bats for Murphy, 52 strikeouts, and hitting .340 with power. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Williams ought to be coming in with a lot of confidence. His last outing for Gwinnett was against Durham. 5 innings of no hit, no run ball, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Great tune-up for tonight.
Hit to the opposite field and under the glove of Dansby Swanson, who lost his glove, and Murphy's at first with a well-earned 2-out single.
Looked like a change-up that he was able to just get the end of the bat on. He stepped on his glove. I was afraid of that.
Wondering.
Yeah. Reaching down and trying to get to it. And then his foot stepped right on the web.
So Murphy, with his 15th hit against the Braves, brings up Bryce Harper. Harper with a .251 mark, 23 homers, 76 driven in.
Just me, or does Williams look a little trimmer?
He does.
His rehab's been good for him in that fashion.
Let's see how much, if any, steam is off the fastball of Perez after the long at bat with Daniel Murphy. Bryce Harper with a man aboard, 2 outs. And that's headed foul. Harper's behind in the count. Game 127 for Bryce Harper.
Got off to just a horrible second half start, a 134 average, and Dusty Baker gave him a couple of mental health days off. And since then, his last 21 games, he's more Bryce Harper like.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And fouled away. He had a neck problem too last time we saw Washington.
That's right, he was out of the lineup for a couple of days. He's not going to win the MVP again, but he could certainly do a lot of damage if he gets hot at the right time heading into the postseason.
Well, fans around baseball can say, well, Bryce Harper's having a bad year. I'm not saying that, but some might say compared to what he did last year, yeah, 23 and 76, nothing to sneeze at. And 19 steals too. A great young player. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And after Perez got the first 2 outs very quickly, Murphy and Harper now are proving pesky.
That change up away from him, try not to make a mistake with it. You understand that, but you don't want to go 3-2 and be forced to throw one close.
Popped him up. And in foul ground, Freddie Freeman to the warning track, has room, and Williams Perez has a shutdown first inning. Good start for the Braves tonight. They lead the Nationals by 2 after 1. Number 2. Fans' dugout seats at SunTrust Park are perfect for the ultimate Braves fan. Get as close to the action as you can without being in the lineup and keep your cool even when you're on the edge of your seat. With state-of-the-art breathable mesh seats, the first of their kind in professional sports. SunTrust Park season tickets are going fast. Get your dugout seats today at Braves.com/dugout. All right, so a Nice welcome back for Williams Perez. No first inning troubles for him. No first inning runs for Washington. And the Braves with a 2-run advantage get back after Gio Gonzalez here in the top of the second. Too short. Espinosa scoops and shows off a strong arm. 1 out.
He does have a good arm. Sometimes he thinks that he can throw it from any angle because he's got a good arm, and it leads to some errant throws. But when he sets his feet and comes over the top like he, or 3/4 for him, it's got some zip on it.
Gordon Beckham's got the second base start tonight. Chase Peterson gets a rest with a lefty on the mound. And Gordon takes outside. Good to see his bat coming to life. Beckham with 7 hits in his last 24 at bats. 4 of those hits for extra bases. He's knocked in 4 runs.
Well, any hitter will tell you the more consistent at bats he gets, the more consistent he will be. And to get to play 2 nights in a row will be really good for Gordon here. Three for 10 in his career against Gio. I will tell you this. I mean, it's like you said in the first inning, Chip. His pace is a blur compared to the way he used to work.
Three ball counts in the first 7 hitters for Gonzalez, and now Beckham's making him work overtime.
Maddox might have had something to do with that to try to get him to pick up the pace, because before this good run he's been on over his last 10 games, going 6-0, his record was just 4-9 and a high ERA, so they had to try something different.
Out of play foul. And Mike Maddox has done a nice job here. Yes, he's got a lot of tools on the pitching staff, but not much argument with the work Gonzalez and Roark and Scherzer and Strasburg have turned in. Under the tutelage of the former Brewers and Rangers pitching coach.
I would say, you know, we've been really applauding the work of Dusty Baker for this ball club and helping get them into first place. Play right, play the game the right way, play hard. But it is a very good staff that he assembled here too, with the likes of Chris Spire, Davey Lopes, and Maddox.
Swing and a miss on the 10th pitch of the at-bat. Gordon Beckham with a good fight, but he's the first strikeout victim for Gio Gonzalez. Well, no offense to Matt Williams, who's a terrific baseball man. I think looking at the Nationals from the outside, there was a real sour taste with the way last season started and ended. And they really needed a new culture in that locker room from the manager's chair. And Dusty Baker is certainly going to bring a breath of fresh air to any ball club.
Well, his voice of experience, his postseason record, getting teams into the postseason on a consistent basis when he was manager at several different stops. I mean, it's easy to say, it's not easy to do, but to convey to the players, you know, I've been there, done that, I know what it takes, and hopefully we'll figure this out together so we can all get back to the postseason.
Second winningest active manager in the big leagues, Dusty Baker, behind Bruce Bochy of the Giants. And you're right, Mr. Baker got the Giants to the playoffs, the Cubs to the playoffs, the Reds to the playoffs, and he's closing in on a division championship here in Washington this year. Dansby Swanson cracks one to center field. That ball's well hit. Turner going back. It's over his head, and that's going to ricochet back toward the infield. Dansby's got two. He's on his way to third. They're going to wave him. Here comes the throw to the plate. Dansby Swanson is safe. It's an inside the park home run. His first big league homer, and inside the park bomb in Washington. Can you believe that?
Wow, how exciting. High fastball, he put a charge in it, and Trey Turner showed some inexperience in center field by chasing this all the way to the wall. He got turned around, but he kept chasing it to the wall, and now he's got to turn around and go back the other way, and there's nobody there to help him out. Dansby was coming out of the box hard too. He knew he put a good swing on it. If it was about 6 feet to the left, he could have trotted around.
Well, that was much more exciting than watching it go over the fence.
Yeah.
First big league homer, and inside the park job in Washington to make it a 3-0 game.
He's getting some applause from some of the vets. That's great. First homer with a little style. Not even breathing hard.
Two balls, 2 strikes for Williams Perez. That's fouled off the catcher.
I'd have to see it again. I'm not sure, but it looked like in that overhead shot that Dansby might have gotten caught by a surprise a little bit when Cole Porter was still waving him. That he figured he had a triple, stand-up triple, easy, getting into third.
Wow, was that exciting? 3-0 as Perez checked his swing. Full count. Another deep count for Gio Gonzalez.
And at least 48 pitches through the first 2 innings for Gonzalez.
Strike 3 called. Inning over. But some Atlanta Braves history. Dansby Swanson has hit his first major league home run. A shot high off the fence in center field that Trey Turner couldn't catch. And by the time he tracked it down, Dansby was chugging and sliding home with the 3rd Atlanta run of the night.
It was clear. It was just me kind of out of the corner of my eye trying to see where the defense was.
Well, Dansby Swanson is the first Brave with an inside the park home run since Wes Helms turned the trick in 2001.
See right there, I can't tell if Dansby's maybe just measuring his steps to make sure he hits third in stride right here. See that little stutter step, and then it was like, oh, I'm still going here. Wasn't even close. Didn't even have a play.
Well, Gretchen reminds us that Dansby's first homer with Carolina this year in the Braves minor league system was an inside the park homer. And just doing a little quick research during our commercial break, the last man I can find to have his first inside the park homer be his first major league homer was James McCann of the Tigers. Before that, it was Frank Larry in April of 1956 with Detroit against the Kansas City A's. That was the last Tiger before James McCann had done it.
Well, I know of one that was in 1975. So there's another one in there.
Rendon hit with a breaking ball, and he's aboard to start the second inning.
I saw Johnny LeMaster, shortstop for the Giants, in his first big league at bat.
Oh man,
hit an inside the park home run.
First big league at bat, first home run inside the park.
Yes, sir.
Top that.
Yeah, it was on the turf at Candlestick. It bounced in front of the center fielder, bounced over the center fielder's head, and rolled all the way to the wall.
The center fielder's name wasn't Joe Simpson.
No, thank goodness. Would never have happened.
Right. Here's Wilson Ramos. He's 10th in the league in hitting. So our great statistician Gretchen Caney's researching inside the park home run in full force. And we will pass along what I'm sure is a very short list that Dansby Swanson just joined tonight. Ramos one of 5 Nationals with 20 home runs this year. 72 RBIs in his free agent season. Perez with a little page out of Max Scherzer's book so far. In and out, up and down, hitting corners and not the center of the plate.
And getting ahead in the count.
And Ramos got tied up. That pitch ate him alive. Second strikeout, first out here in the Washington second.
What ate him alive was the movement. It was 90 miles an hour, but that ball was high and riding in on him. Call it a sinker if you want, but it wasn't down enough to be a sinker. It was going laterally right into his hands. And here's a guy who's really scuffling.
Ryan Zimmerman. He has had some injury problems this year. Zimmerman's been limited to only 94 games this year.
His average is only 219, but he's barely hitting 200 over his last 2 weeks, and 6 strikeouts in his last 17 at bats. One of the things you're used to seeing from Ryan Zimmerman, that high, holding his hands very high, and then a high leg kick, and then staying back, keeping his weight still centered over his back leg. Lately, he's drifting. He's got that high leg kick, and then his upper body moves forward, and he's got nothing left but just his hands and nothing in his lower half left.
One of the injuries that Ryan Zimmerman has dealt with this year is a rib problem. He's had shoulder issues. He's had plantar fasciitis. I mean, he has had an injury-plagued run here in Washington the last several seasons. So they need him to get going over the final month. Otherwise, This is a cool business. The Nationals may have a very difficult decision to make as far as who plays first base come playoff time. The other big problem for Zimmerman, wrist problems. He got hit by a pitch in San Francisco, I think it was, and that cost him some time.
That's true. That may be adding to the low batting average in recent days.
One ball, two strikes, 3-0 Atlanta here in the second. And that pitch popped up. Zimmerman was off stride, and Gordon Beckham is there. 2 outs.
Well, this team has some flexibility with that. It doesn't necessarily mean that Robinson would play first base for Dusty's first choice. He could move Murphy over to play first. He could bring Turner into play second and put Revere in center. Almost like, okay, who's hot right now and who's not? And it's not just 2 guys at one position. It would be who's hot, Revere or Zimmerman.
Exactly right. Managers love flexibility, and that was another problem for Washington because the flexibility they had, well, was on the disabled list most of the year. And they didn't have Daniel Murphy. So Espinosa digs in with a man aboard and 2 outs.
And he's 3 for his last 23.
Williams is getting corners because he's throwing strikes. Even count.
Some close to the corners.
Right. Fly ball slicing toward the stands. And the count 1-2 for the Nationals shortstop, Danny Espinosa.
Ooh. Good pitch. '92 had a little action on it. Just didn't quite get it in there close enough.
That's the most surprising thing for Williams so far tonight. 92 to 94 on the fastball.
Yeah, it's been good and it's been moving.
So 2-2. Rendon a short lead at first, and the pitch is cracked down the right field line. Foul. There's almost no foul ground past that portion of the stands that juts out toward the field of play. 10-12 feet perhaps. And as the ball curls toward the corner, it moves out of our line of vision, so we have to wait for the umpire, in this case Rob Drake, to let us know fair or foul. How close was this?
About 8 feet foul. And well struck. Wants to pull, wants to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Good changeup right here might get him. One sinker.
And it's a ground ball up the middle for a base hit. Van Doen's around second. He's on his way to third. And the Nationals have their second 2-out hit of the game. But at the very least, they'll clear Gio Gonzalez. That's fouled off a bunch. 2-strike pitches in the first 2 innings. Another hard-earned hit.
Five for 43, but does have a double. I know Espinosa's 9 out of 10 in stolen bases, but try not to pay too much attention to him. Just get this pitcher out and go to the dugout. That was a well-located fastball. That's where Scherzer was living all last night. That lower line of the strike zone.
No balls, 1 strike. Runner at first is going, and the pitch fouled away. Espinosa will head back. And now the count's 0-2 for the Nationals pitcher. Oh, but just joining us as we approach 8 o'clock, you've already missed a lot. Braves scored 2 runs in the first inning off the man in the batter's box. And moments ago in the second inning, Dansby Swanson's first major league homer, an inside the park homer, hit high off the fence in center field.
First since Wes Helms. I wouldn't have won that trivia question contest.
Thank God we weren't asked. The last Brave with an inside the park homer for his first homer was Paul Runge.
Is that right?
1985. He did that against the Phillies, and the pitcher for the Phillies that day was Jerry Koosman.
Well, whatever the reason was for the inside the parker, I can tell you that Koosman was airing some people out in the dugout for allowing it to happen.
And Gretchen tells us that as rare as that play seems, maybe it's not as rare as we think. He's the 11th man since the 2000 season with an inside the park homer for his first in the big leagues. That's a lot more than I would have thought.
Me too.
Two balls, 2 strikes. And Gio Gonzalez helps himself with a base hit. And all this trouble coming with 2 outs, back-to-back singles, and the Braves lead now 3-1. Washington gets a hit batsman and their first run.
Mistake up. I don't know if that was a changeup. No, it was a fastball, I think. He left it up. 116 average and 1 RBI, and now he's got 2. And it's a good thing Espinosa didn't steal second.
So here's Turner. He flied out to start the game. He's 0 for 1. Pitch. Missed low outside. Pitch number 25 of the inning. And that one got a corner. At first glance, you might say, boy, the Padres had kept Trey Turner. I mean, they did trade away a lot of really good young players when they went for it a couple of years ago. But the return for San Diego wasn't so shabby either. Will Myers. Only time will tell. See who got the best end of the principals in that deal. Safe to say the Padres are real happy with Myers, and Trey Turner has been a revelation for Dusty Baker and the Nationals this year.
Yeah, but we keep looking at that trade like it was those guys. I mean, it was Will Myers, and yeah, it was a good comeback for the Padres, but it didn't come from the Nationals, so they didn't have to give him up. Steven Souza, a couple of pitchers.
To second, and the throw to first gets Turner, and that retires the side. A hit batsman and two-out singles puts Washington on the board for the first time. Gio Gonzalez helps himself.
Swanson home run. Guys, I got to tell you, it's about getting guys with the right makeup. You've heard the Braves say that. Ender Inciarte is always the first one out to stretch and run, practicing his sprinting in left field before the game until Dansby Swanson gets here. Now they challenge each other. Dansby out. He won the one today. He was out first, stretching and running. Guys, that inside the park home run, according to StatCast, was 14.97 seconds. That's the fastest inside the Parker we've had all year. And yes, I agree with Joe Simpson. He stutter stepped around third base, so he can even beat that time with a little more in the tank. Guys, great stuff. Glad he's on our team. Great trade. Back to you guys.
No question, Paul. And a lot of times you're not used to running all the way, and you just expect it to be at third base. So that distance, that 90 feet between third base and home plate, can be a real challenge. Like I said, he got up. He didn't even look like he was out of breath.
Kudos to Bo Porter, too. He knows this ballpark as well as anybody. He used to coach here.
Mm-hmm.
And he saw that high bounce, saw the distance, and brought Dansby home with the third Atlanta run. Wow, what a night already. Here we go, third inning. Ender Inciarte leads off. And he takes a strike. Gio Gonzalez has had to throw a lot of pitches. That was his 51st. Inciarte wants to slow down Gio Gonzalez.
He's the one guy in the Braves lineup that will do that.
Popped out of play. It's still a 1-2 count. Inciarte's been hot over the last 2.5 weeks. He now has a 17-game hitting streak. He had a 19-gamer earlier this year. And his hot run has continued since the All-Star break. This is not just a 2 or 3 week hot spell. It's been 2 months for the Braves center fielder. Served foul and out of play.
Hey, Paul, I have a question for you. I talked about Gonzalez having this line drawn straight to home plate, that he tries to make sure on his stride that he steps to the first base side of that line. Purpose of that? Maybe just to create a little movement on his fastball?
Deception. He wants to hide the ball. So when you pitch as a left-hander on the third base side, you open up early so the hitter gets a better view. Tom McGlavin used to do that. That's a sinker ball changeup side of the mound. So if you have those pitches, it's very advantageous to do so. But if you step straight to the hitter and do that, then you give them a long look at your arm and the ball. So the way to counteract that, if you want to get the best out of your pitches on that side of the mound, is to step a little bit across your body. You get the benefit of being on the third base side, but you also get the benefit of deception because you hide the ball longer.
Is there a little stress on your arm when you do that?
It can be. I mean, in general, you don't want to throw across your body too much. Everybody throws across their body a little bit. But as long as it's not exaggerated, your shoulders should still be okay.
Well, he's not deceiving Ender Inciarte a bit. That's 2 rockets up the middle in this game.
How about some of the pitches he fouled off, including that last one that was almost in the dirt? That took a bite out of Ramos.
So that was a 10-pitch at bat. And another excellent start for the Braves here in the third. Garcia brought Inciarte home with a double to right center. 2 hitters. And a run was in for the Braves. See if they can keep pouring it on here in game 2.
Tough combination to run on here. Gonzalez doesn't have a great move, but he's left-handed, so you try and make sure that he's going to the plate. But Ramos, outstanding all year long, throwing out base stealers, almost 40%. And that's Yadier Molina-like.
With 24 doubles, 51 RBIs. Has an even count. Good lead at first. And a line drive over short. That's going to get down. Ender's going to turn, and he's going to head to third. Worth is going to concede the advance to third base. And the Braves have him first and third here in the third with nobody out. A 2-hit game for Inciarte, a 2-hit game for Adonis Garcia.
First 2 guys, top of the order, setting the table. Good base running by Ender to read it off the bat, and then never hesitate as he rounded third. He hit it in stride at second base, made it to third without a throw.
So the right guy up at the right time. Freddie Freeman's our Georgia Lottery jackpot feature.
Great numbers. 14 RBIs, 20 runs scored in his last 30 games here. Moved the runner over in the first inning and set up an RBI ground out for Kemp.
That one squid the other way, and that's going to sneak through for a run-scoring hit. And Garcia will go first to third.
Love that.
This is almost instant replay of the 9th inning last night against Mark Melanson for Freeman. Spoiled the shift, brings home a 4th run, and now Matt Kemp will hit with nobody out.
I mean, he didn't hit this ball hard at all. He fought it off, but he was trying to go the other way, and it's almost, when you look at his head on that swing, it's almost like he was aiming that way. That was terrific. The more you do that, the less they'll shift on you.
Mike Maddox, a very hands-on pitching coach, as he tries to give Gonzalez some encouragement. Gio got the ground ball he wanted, but Freeman guided it into a vacant spot on the Nationals infield.
You know,
will put their bullpen in action.
I don't want to make this a blanket statement, but it seems like the people who are objecting most to the shifts are the pitchers. They don't like it, especially in those types of RBI situations. They'd much rather have a conventional setup for a chance to get double plays, to get out of innings, or to cut into big innings.
Well, many times we talk about a shift when a pitcher will miss his spot pitching against the shift. I mean, to make the shift work, you have to make a pitch. That's the case, I think, for Gio Gonzalez. He did make a good pitch. Freeman just, as you said, almost aimed the ball and was able to place it exactly where he wanted.
Yeah, but in some cases, if that shift is on and you're asked to pitch to the shift, it may not be really what you want to do with a runner at third base. You're trying to keep that guy from scoring, and maybe what your plan is or your assets are in terms of how you get outs doesn't mesh with the shift, and yet you're still trying to do what the team has set up.
No balls, 2 strikes for Matt Kemp. First and third, nobody out. That'd be a great question for Noah Woodward and Brian Snitker. Are there hard, fast rules as to when you don't apply the shift? And right now, the way Freddie Freeman's swinging the bat, I don't think there's a defensive alignment that's going to be effective in any situation against him.
I would be more interested in, and the Braves have shifted more this year than I ever remember. When they have these discussions with that night's starting pitcher, that this is how we want to position ourselves against Bryce Harper, for example, or somebody else. You know, can you pitch to this, or would you rather we not pitch to this with runners in scoring position?
2-2. Fought off. Well, the Braves have made Gio Gonzalez work. A lot of deep counts. A lot of foul balls, and already 6 hits, and still nobody out in the top of the 3rd inning. Kemp chased one and is retired on strikes. First out of the inning, 3rd strikeout.
He threw a lot of pitches in that start at Philadelphia. He only gave up 2 hits and a run and 1 walk, and yet he threw 101 pitches in 6 innings. And that's a lot for a guy who didn't give up anything.
And nothing's come easy for him tonight. First and third for Markakis. See if Nick can hit a fly ball and bring home Garcia. 4-1 Atlanta. And a strike. Gonzalez has had 5 sequences with Braves hitters of 7 pitches or more already tonight.
Goodness.
Including 2 10-pitch at bats. And your scouting report was right on the money. Runners on base, and Gio's a different guy. Markakis not sure about that.
Me neither. What a gift call there.
Pop fly foul. Rendon gives chase and runs out of room. Nice.
And a big smile too.
That skipped up there, and on a delayed play, run down between first and second. Freeman's trapped. He's going to dive back to the bag, and he's going to be tagged out. But Freeman thinks he beat the play back to the first base bag. Espinosa's the man that ran him down. Braves nearly stole a run there, and let's see if Freeman was safe or out at the first base bag.
Espinosa dug a ball out of the dirt, or Garcia would have scored. Reaching. Oh, he's safe. Big time. When he went down to the ground, Espinosa had to keep reaching down for him and didn't get him until he was well on the base.
Freeman had to worry about Ryan Zimmerman standing right in front of the first base bag too in the base paths.
Got to check it. Reaching, reaching, reaching. Tagged him on the backside.
Crowd booing, waiting for the Braves to decide whether or not they wish to challenge this play. Another
better
look.
angle. Better angle. It's not the glove, it's in the hand. His right hand got to the base first. Oh, they're not going to check it.
So the Braves do not challenge the call at first. Freeman is out. And Freeman's retired on a 2-6 play back at first base. So that changes the inning. 2 outs now for Markakis. Adonis Garcia still at third base. Swing and a miss. Ball in the dirt. Ramos will pick it up, apply the tag, and that will end the Atlanta inning. 1 run, 3 hits, 1 left. Braves add to their lead, though. It's 4-1 after 2.5. one to center field. That ball's well hit. Turner going back. It's over his head, and that's going to ricochet back toward the infield. Dansby's got 2. He's on his way to third. They're going to wave him. Here comes the throw to the plate. Dansby swats it. Is safe. It's an inside the park home run. What a way to notch your first Major League home run, and inside the park home run for the Braves shortstop. That's tonight's Toyota key play.
And it was fun to watch.
So the Braves have scored a run in each of the first 3 innings tonight. And Williams Perez, with a nice long rest, will face Worth, Murphy, and Harper here in the home third.
In defense of Freddie Freeman getting caught in that rundown and getting ultimately, I guess he was tagged out. Didn't look like it. He's one of the best on the team at reading pitches that are headed for the dirt and getting a jump on that. Balls in the dirt that a catcher has to block. But unfortunately, Ramos caught that ball on the short hop.
And Freddie was hoping to stay in a rundown long enough to give Adonis Garcia a chance to maybe try to scamper home. But he stayed at third and was left stranded. Three balls and a strike for Jason Worth.
That first guy off base.
Won't happen. Leadoff single for Worth. And that's the 4th Nationals hit of the game.
Didn't walk him, made him put it in play. And Murphy got that base hit on a changeup down and away that he just stuck his bat out there. And with the Braves and the mini shift on for him, able to scoot it past Dansby Swanson.
As we mentioned, Murphy a tough man to strike out. He had a 10-pitch at bat in the first inning and had a base hit. He's hoping for a chance to repeat his stellar postseason play last year. He was absolutely unstoppable in the first 2 rounds of postseason play against the Dodgers and Cubs. He hit 7 home runs in 38 at bats in 9 games, but cooled off against Kansas City, where he went 3 for 20 in the World Series. Ian Desmond left in free agency, they had an opening on their infield, and they swooped in to get Murphy and signed him to a 3-year contract in January.
It was not their first choice. Ben Zobrist was. Zobrist was highly sought after, including by the Braves. Signed by the Cubs, and then the Nationals turned their attention to Murphy.
And when he came to Washington, the Mets went out and traded for Neil Walker. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ripped into right field. That's a base hit. So the Nationals have consecutive hits. And Bryce Harper's coming up with a chance to tie the game.
Another changeup. Yeah. Can't get that changeup down. He's left it upstairs, and that's the danger zone for the changeup.
Here's Harper. Bryce popped out his first time up. Washington made another run at another fine National League second baseman, Brandon Phillips. He had 10 and 5 rights and turned down a deal to join Dusty Baker here in D.C. And ball for Harper, 1-0.
Talked about this the last time we were here. Bob Henley, the third base coach for the Nationals, with runners on base, standing not more than 50 feet maybe from Bryce Harper with his back to him.
That's tapped foul. We've got coaching boxes and on deck circles for a reason, but these days it seems neither one of those are used all that frequently.
In this case, I think it's foolish. There's no reason to have to already be standing there in the event of a base hit. Easy to hustle to that spot if there is a hit.
Harper wasn't trying to hit that ball the other way.
Didn't look like it, did it?
2-2.
To a competitive pitch to get him to chase, but not close enough. Let's see if Dusty sends his runners 3-2.
Worth and Murphy are those runners. Not going. And Harper pops one up into left. Long run. Kemp's coming, can't get there, plays it on a short hop. His throw is going to come to third. It's going to be late. Bryce Harper with a bloop hit. Great effort by Matt Kemp, just too much turf to cover. And the Nationals have a big threat. Bases loaded, nobody out.
Good pitch, down and away that time, right off the end of the bat. And with Dansby playing right behind the runner, he had too far to go. Nice scoop on the short hop by Matt. If he'd been able to keep his feet, he probably would have gotten a force out at third base.
So this relentless Washington lineup has Williams Perez in big trouble here. Bases loaded, nobody out. Rendon is 1 for 10 with the bases loaded this year. Somewhat surprising.
Just need a ground ball. A double play here would really put a crimp in this inning. Going to concede a run. Get a comebacker to the mound would really help.
Rendon's hitting to 4 double plays this year.
It's not many.
And was hit by a pitch his first time up and is the only man to score to this point for the Nationals. 4-1 Atlanta. Didn't get it. 0-2.
Has he thrown any sliders?
I don't
remember any. It's been sinker, change up.
That got Flowers on the way by.
I don't know if that's a byproduct of his rehab for his shoulder or not. He probably has. I just don't remember him. That was a waste pitch that Rendon was not going to let him waste. If you come in on him with that sinker, try not to let it be down in him, because he will drop the barrel on it and pull the ball and probably pull it hard. You want to tie him up, forcing him inside.
Drill deep left. Rendon clears it all. Down and out over the plate. Tyler Flowers knew it immediately.
His first career grand slam turns the game around. Washington has a 5-4 lead. And still nobody out. Rendon a curtain call. So Wilson Ramos will go to work. 0-1 for the Washington catcher.
And Rendon now needs 3 homers to join the 20 home run club.
One and two. So a ton of offense in the first 3 innings. 9 runs, 13 hits. 2 homers. Dansby Swanson and inside the Parker to third. And Ramos, who was blessed with catcher's speed, is retired for the first out. Not too often you see an inside the park homer and a grand slam in the same game. But that's what we've seen here in the last 2 innings.
This was supposed to be a sinker. It didn't. And it was down the middle and out away from him enough. He had no trouble getting around on an 0-2 pitch too, right?
So the Nationals are back in front. Here's Zimmerman. He popped out to second. And he drives this one to deep right. That ball is hammered. That ball is gone. A home run. A line drive by Zimmerman. Right above the railing in right center field. Boy, that ball jumped.
Stayed back better on that one. Drove it the other way. Above the scoreboard. Couldn't tell. Did it bounce up off the scoreboard and hit the railing, or I think I would have been trying to get that back in there and make them think it was off the wall.
That's the end of the line for Williams Perez. 5 runs across in inning number 3. And the Nationals are up 6-4.
Delta Airlines, your local Ford dealer. And Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
Washington with a 5-run third. A grand slam by Anthony Rendon. A line drive homer by Ryan Zimmerman has chased Williams Perez. And now Joel De La Cruz is on. This is his 17th game, and he'll face Espinosa and Gio Gonzalez.
Well, it's the first time he's been out there out of the bullpen. Been a while for that, but some long relief needed. Talking about the expanded rosters after September 1, I heard tonight, and we commented on this last night, that the Nationals have 13 guys in their bullpen right now. When they get some of their pitchers back that are on the disabled list, Strasburg is one, Ross is another, they could have a 21-man pitching staff.
Might not be enough. 2 quick strikes for Espinosa.
It was the 3rd inning last night, yesterday afternoon, that things blew up on Ryan Weber. 5-run inning.
And here we are again. Nationals hitter with 2 strikes, and a foul ball fest begins. Give them credit. That's been instrumental tonight in their 8-hit attack. Washington's hit 7 grand slams this year. 2 of them have come at the expense of the Braves. Bryce Harper hit one against Julio Teheran on April 14th. In fact, Harper has 2, Worth has 1, Espinosa has 2, Murphy, and now Rendon. To the right side. Freeman's got it. De La to the bag. Beats Espinosa. And there's the second out of the inning.
Well, this game has certainly turned around for Gio Gonzalez, hasn't it?
Yeah. Well, maybe he's the guy that got things started. Remember, he stepped in with 2 outs And 2 on in the second inning and laced a single.
He looked like he wasn't going to get out of the third inning. The top half, the Braves got 3 straight singles to start the inning, but he limited the damage to 1 run.
Well, we've told you several times about the difficulties the Braves have had winning games here. Since June 21st of 2014, the Braves have won a grand total of 2 games in this ballpark. 2. In fact, the last 2 years, there have been 4 starters who've won a game against the Nationals. Matt Whistler's beaten him twice. Mike Foltynewicz, Williams Perez, and Eric Stoltz. But it won't be Williams Perez tonight.
No. Unfortunately, it won't.
The 1-2 is fouled back. 11 foul balls by the Nationals hitters with 2 strikes. Now 12. And a swing and a miss ends a very long Washington offensive inning. 8 men come to the plate. 5 of them score. Anthony Rendon's first career grand slam turned the game around and gave the Nats the lead. Ryan Zimmerman very quickly followed with an opposite field shot just over the scoreboard. 2 homers in the Nationals' third. They now lead the game 6-4. With the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and your tablet.
New life for this guy. Thanks to Rendon and Zimmerman. 4 runs allowed on 6 hits already. including the inside the park home run by Swanson. So a long way to go. And the final score last night was 6-4. The Braves coming up for only the 4th inning.
Here the Braves' 4th, Flowers, Beckham, and the inside the park homer man, Dansby Swanson, coming up.
Throwing many curveballs. There's one.
And a line drive by Flowers. Neither starting pitcher can stand prosperity tonight.
Well, 13 guys down there in the bullpen. Dusty Baker won't let this 6-4 lead be threatened with more problems from Gonzalez.
Yeah, he had somebody up last inning.
They're stirring again.
It was Matt Belisle loosening the first time. Here's Beckham. Gordon struck out in his lone appearance. That was in the 2nd inning. Gio delivers a strike. One more game with Washington here tomorrow night. It figures to be a fastball frenzy. Mike Fultonevich will pitch for the Braves. It's expected that Steven Strasburg will go for the Nationals. That has not yet been announced. Braves live at 6:30. First pitch 7:05. And low, 2-1.
I don't know what kind of protocol that Strasburg's got to go through to pass to be able to be announced as the guy. You know, maybe just how he feels when he wakes up tomorrow morning. I don't know. But I know Nationals fans always like it when he pitches. You'd think they'd want to know.
Yeah.
They'd let fans know as quick as possible.
Maybe they have to check the thermometer first. We'll have to wait and see.
It is going to be hot.
(6-4) Nationals lead. Flowers at first with nobody out, and the 2-2.
Mr. Strasburg. The trainer standing nearby.
Full count. We are told that Steven Strasburg does have the pitching chart in the Nationals dugout. So that might be an indicator. 3-2. Driven toward right. That's going to get down. Harper's going to chase that. He'll give ground and stop a step or two shy of the track. And Beckham is in at second. He stands with a double, and the Braves are coming right back at Gio Gonzalez. Isn't this amazing?
Great work there. Great at bat by Gordon.
And Dusty Baker is on his way out. That might be the end of the line for Gio Gonzalez, who could not take advantage of a 5-run 3rd inning outburst and a 6-4 lead. And so Gio Gonzalez is done. The Braves are in the well-armed Nationals bullpen early, down 2, but threatening here in the 4th. Been warming for the second time here in the fourth inning to replace Gio Gonzalez, who didn't have it tonight. 3+ innings of 8-hit 4-run ball. Belle Isle's been good. He's in his 37th Nationals game.
40 innings and a 5-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Only 6 walks in those 40 innings. Fastball, curveball, changeup.
Already a spectacular night for Dansby Swanson. Let's see if he can at the very least bring Flowers home and make it a 1-run game. 6-4 your score. And he took a shot at right field, fouled it off. 0-1 the count.
What happened in the second inning if you missed it? A drive to deep center off the higher wall padding. Nobody backing up Turner. Fourth quarter, Jeff waving him. And no play. Inside the park homer for his first big league homer.
Amazing. As you mentioned, Johnny LeMaster, September 2nd, 1975, an inside the park homer in his first at bat. And now Ramos and Belle Isle want to talk it over. You know who has the record for most inside the park homers for a career?
Is it before 1950?
It was.
I'll go Ty Cobb.
He's third with 46 of them. That's the American League record. Tommy Leach had 48. Jesse Burkett had 55 inside the park homers.
Of course, then it was hard to define where the park was.
That's exactly right. You know, the old joke sometimes in the rural areas like Cincinnati didn't have fences, but the ballparks were sometimes located in pasture areas. You have the cows and the sheep and the pigs running around in the outfield. Here's the 1-1 pitch, which is a little tapper hit toward third. Rendon's going to surrender the run. Dansby put it in play, brings home Flowers to make it a 6-5 score. Beckham to third, and it's a 2 RBI night for Dansby. That one belongs to Gio Gonzalez. Yeah, back in the old days, they didn't always have outfield fences, so a ball would roll forever past an outfielder, and every now and then one of those hungry animals would devour the baseball, which led to what was then called the inside the pork home run. It was eaten by a pig.
Went a long way, didn't he?
Yeah, always have. Anyway, back to the game. With Joel De La Cruz, he'll try to help the Braves cause. See if he can put it in play with the infield end.
Thinking along with Brian Snitker. I didn't want to burn up his whole bullpen tonight on this.
Yeah,
because
the Braves
it's only the fourth inning.
Who said the Braves don't have 13 guys in their pen?
He's got to figure, you know what? It's still early. We got a chance to get a bunch of runs tonight. So DLC is up there for himself. Just so he can stay in the game.
Line past Rendon. How about that? De La Cruz ties the game with a rope to left field, and it's 6-6.
That was up and in too. His first big league RBI. That away. Like it happens all the time. Not a big deal.
Like Bartolo hitting the homer. So on night at first, Dansby Swanson his first homer, De La Cruz his first RBI, and new life for Atlanta. 6-6 in the fourth. Braves have scored in every inning. 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, and 2 so far here in the fourth inning. And back we go to the top of the Atlanta order, where Ender Inciarte's got a 2 for 2 night. That one stroked towards center. Turner on the run is slowing, and he'll make the play. Good swing. And a nice catch by Turner for out number 2. Here's Adonis. He too a perfect night. A double, a run, an RBI, and a single. Popped up. Murphy pointing away, says he's got it and puts it away, and that retires the side. Braves got their first 2 on in the 4th. They both came home to score, and after 3.5, we've got a shootout in Washington. 6-6 game.
Ladies and gentlemen.
We head to the bottom of the 4th inning, and the Braves have gotten things even again at 6-6. But as Joe just said about the Nationals in the 3rd inning, important to get the leadoff guy, and that leadoff guy is Trey Turner, and he has been a nightmare for the Braves pitching staff.
Look at that, 11 RBIs and 14 runs scored in 14 games. Not to mention his average and slugging percentage with the damage he's done. He has really been a pain in the neck.
But a rare 0 for 2 start against the Braves tonight. He's flied out and grounded out.
That's the good news. The bad news is he's batting for the 3rd time in the 4th inning.
Yeah.
But a tie ball game, and it's De La Cruz's ball game.
This would be a cool way for him to pick up his first win, huh?
It would indeed.
Just missed. And the count even, the ball and the strike. Broken bat, popped up and playable. Beckham's going to make the play, and Turner is 0 for 3. Good start for De La Cruz. Here's Worth. Worth is 1 for 2 with a run scored.
Jason's one of the few guys that still keeps both hands on the bat, if at all possible, on his swing. A lot of guys have that top hand on a fly off. Not him, if he can help it.
And we're told that Jason Worth Offers a rare blend of middle-of-the-order presence with the bat, defensive prowess in the outfield, a strong throwing arm, base-running instincts, speed, athleticism, and leadership.
All courtesy of
the media guy that leads the league in hyperbole, the Washington Nationals. That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of moss. No mention of that.
He also leads the league in hair.
Yeah.
But he has been a terrific player and was a sign that the tide was turning in Washington when he came over from the Philadelphia Phillies. He was a big part of the Phillies World Series team. And he came to Washington when the Nats weren't real good. Got a long-term contract. And was the first piece that arrived here in anticipation of Bryce Harper, Steven Strasburg,
Ryan Zimmerman,
and Drew Story.
And Ryan Zimmerman.
And Ryan Zimmerman.
I don't think Zimmerman was here yet.
That one's cut on and missed. De La Cruz has his second strikeout. And Worth is asking if that was in the dirt or if it was a strike. The answer to the first question was no. The answer to the second might have been yes. 2 away. Murphy's 2 for 2 with a run scored. And with his 2 hits, Murphy's now batting .342. That's 2 points behind DJ LeMahieu of the Rockies, who leads the league.
I was way off on Zimmerman and Worth. Zimmerman had already been in the big leagues about 5 years before Worth got here.
But the point still holds. They had some young pieces in place, needed a veteran who could still be productive, who had been through the wars before, and in many ways Worth just stepped right in and helped teach these young Nationals what it takes to win. That's a Tapper foul for the man who's our Academy Sports leaderboard subject.
Not a bad year.
No.
Second, third, second, fourth, and first in key offensive categories that have him in the mix for an MVP.
Little Tapper. Adonis has to charge. He gloves. He fires. And Murphy legs out an infield hit. When you're having the kind of year he's having, every single one of those balls ends up turning into a hit. And he's 3 for 3 tonight after getting a day off last night. And he's aboard with 2 outs.
2 of them are very much shift oriented. One to the left side with Dansby up the middle. This one with Dansby up the middle forces Adonis to try to cut across and get it. That might have been a play if you're playing it straight up, where the shortstop cuts over there and gets it.
But doesn't that illustrate how putting the ball in play is so critically important? He doesn't strike out. Yes, he hits for a lot of power this year, but he puts the ball in play and he can still run, and he's rewarded with a hit. So Harper is the batter. He singled and scored. That came ahead of Rendon's grand slam. And time is called.
I don't think how important it is for him to put the ball in play and keep the inning alive for this guy to hit. Beautiful changeup, great location. That's what it's done right there with the changeup.
One ball, one strike. Little tapper. Right back to the top of the mound. And Harper's an easy out. De La Cruz restores a little more order. Nothing comes of a 2-out hit by Daniel Murphy. Freeman, Kemp, and Markakis are coming up for the Braves in the 5th.
Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
Well, after 4 innings, we've got a tie game, and with all those relief pitchers available for the Nationals, Dusty Baker had his pick in a tie game, and it's Sean Burnett.
2 appearances since he was signed and called up, 2/3 of an inning. Nothing happening so far for Burnett. You've been over there to the World War II memorial.
Yeah, I have.
Isn't that awesome? High 80s fastball with some sink. Slider. A changeup, so it'll be up to him to pick one out. That's working tonight. Way to go, Paul.
Hands like a sturgeon. Burnett spent 4 years here in Washington, as this one's hit on the ground to Espinosa. And Burnett's been a wayward reliever this season. He spent time in the Braves, Dodgers, Twins, and Nationals minors systems.
Only brought in to pitch to one guy, and that was to Freddie in the 5th inning. He's got 13 guys down there. You're going to see how many he can get to tonight.
My bet's on the over, whatever it is.
Wow.
SunTrust Park are perfect for the ultimate Braves fan. Get as close to the action as you can without being in the lineup, and keep your cool even when you're on the edge of your seat with a state-of-the-art breathable mesh seat. The first of its kind in pro sports. SunTrust Park season tickets are going fast. Get your dugout seats today. Visit Braves.com/dugout now.
Well, this move is rather amusing too. This is Blake Trinan. He's been one of the key setup men for Dusty Baker all year. You can see 61 games. He even has a save to his credit. A lot of strikeouts, a lot of walks, throws hard, upper 90s with his fastball. So here he is in the 5th inning.
Maybe that's what Dusty's going to do with the Freeman, Kemp, Markakis trio. He may just play matchup with all those relievers the rest of the way. He has that luxury. As Kemp 0 for 2 with an RBI takes a 96-mile-an-hour fastball high.
Is there a rule that I'm not familiar with that if you go through like all 13 you can come back to the first guy and use him again?
I don't think that one's been tried yet. But you know what? Every now and then the umpires will run out of space on their lineup card. And a few of those relief pitchers might go missing. They might scratch a name out accidentally.
I saw it happen one night in Seattle. Maury Wills was making numerous trips to the mound. Every inning he was going out to talk to his pitcher. Every inning. And the umpires lost track. He went out twice one inning and didn't take the guy out.
Really?
They lost track. They literally, it's like they couldn't remember. Has he already been out this inning? No. And Davey Phillips was the home plate umpire, and he missed it.
Wow. Well, we might see something like that tonight, as we're already in the 5th inning of a 6-6 game. And Kemp rips it foul.
Of course, the other team was kind of protesting, but the umpires were like, I don't know. He's been out so much, I lost track.
Well, that'll never happen now because they could probably go to the replay and take all the fun out of it. Trinan versus Kemp, 1 out in the Atlanta 5th. Braves jumped all over Gio Gonzalez with 2 first-inning runs. Dansby Swanson's hit an inside the park homer. A single run in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th. For the Braves, the Nationals got 5 runs in the 3rd, a grand slam by Rendon, a solo homer by Zimmerman. And Kemp waved and missed at 96 and off the plate. First strikeout for Trinan. 2 up, 2 down.
How about the sink on that though? How about the life on his 96 heater? Watch this ball sink. And hard. I mean, that's kind of Johnny Venters from the right side.
Well, Trinan possesses a hard sinker that's been clocked at 100 miles an hour. And something that ought to have Mauricio Cabrera mad, because Trinan's had the honor of being featured in a Jeopardy game show question in February. What's so special about 100? Our guy throws 102.
I think I got that right. Question that right.
Was it double Jeopardy or was it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. All right. 12 balls and a strike. The category is 13 Nationals relievers. And I'll take the 100 category. The answer, who's Blake Trinan? He's got an 0-2 count on Markakis.
Off 97.
And the Nationals come up in the 5th inning. We'll get you caught up on the other major league action. Division races, wild card races, a lot of stuff to talk about again tonight.
Here's Brian Dozier's hit another homer. Bouncing ball towards second. Murphy's got it on a big hop. And Trinan retires Kemp and Markakis to send our game to the home fifth. 6-6 is your score. It's game 2. It's time for our greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. And the big story, the man on the bottom of your screen.
39 homers. That's the most for a Twin since Harmon Killebrew in 1970. And at the pace he's on right now, he's going to fly by 41. He hit another homer tonight. That's 25 in the second half alone. And he's homered in the first inning tonight. Oh yeah, otherwise Mets and Giants still trying to hang on to their wild card hopes. Reds are trailing tonight, but they are 12-0 against the Reds over the last 12 games. That's amazing.
Montero and Finnegan, the pitchers for the Mets and Reds tonight. And the Reds lead 3-2. That game's in the top of the 6th. Miami can't buy a win. Phillies beat them last night 6-2. They're beating them again tonight 4-1 down in South Florida. Marlins have lost 9 of 10 games. They did get Stanton and Bohr back, but the Marlins are trending in the wrong direction, Joe. They've already fallen 5 games back in the wild card race, and they're 2 under 500 all of a sudden.
Reeling.
See what you did there. Excellent. Rendon's the villain. His first career grand slam gave the Nationals a 1-run lead, but he's going to fly out to start the 5th inning. De La Cruz is doing good work in relief. That's 2 scoreless innings now as he gets his first out in the bottom of the 5th inning for Ramos.
And driving in runs. Wilson Ramos for most of the year was up there in the 330s, 340s. He slipped back to 309, as you see. Kind of hard to maintain that high average as a catcher. Those years that Joe Mauer is winning batting titles as a catcher, all the more impressive when you think about it.
And Buster Posey in our league.
Yep. I'd say for Mauer, one of the things he had going for him was playing in the Metrodome, where he had a controlled climate half the time.
I'll be fascinated to see what offers Ramos gets in free agency, assuming he gets there. There's no guarantee that the Nationals won't try to re-sign him themselves. My question is, what exactly are you getting? He's picked, as I said, all due credit to him, he's picked a great year to have a great year.
His previous career high in the big leagues, 16 home runs. The most RBIs Ramos has ever had is 68 last year. And his highest batting average was .272, but that was only over 78 games. Swing and a miss. De La Cruz is dealing with 3 strikeouts.
Right there. Well placed.
Here is Zimmerman. Ryan hit a line drive homer over the scoreboard in right. Back in the 3rd inning.
He's had that working tonight. That off-speed pitch.
Line towards center, but Inciarte is there. And De La Cruz works a perfect 5th inning. Pirates need all the wins they can get. They're trying to snap a 7-game losing streak. And the offense has been the culprit for the Pirates. They've been shut out in 3 of their last 7 games, but not tonight, as they try to remain relevant in the National League wild card race. As a comebacker is handled off the bat of Tyler Flowers. So there's out number 1 in Atlanta 6th.
As bad as things have been for the Pirates, they're still in it.
Yeah.
You know, 4.5 with approximately 24 or so to play.
Well, you have 5 teams within 5 games of the wild card in the National League. You have 7 teams within 5 games in the American League in the wild card race. And then when you factor in Boston, a game behind Toronto, Toronto's got to be considered in the wild card race. The Dodgers a 4-game lead over the Giants. They're kind of on the cusp of that because they play the Giants 6 more times. Cleveland 4.5 games in front of Detroit. And
Detroit's not going away.
Those 3 games the Braves will play them at the end of the year. Probably going to be big ones at Turner Field. And Detroit's not going away because Justin Upton is on fire. He is having one of his patented hot stretches at the right time for Detroit. Entering play tonight, Justin Upton has 8 homers, 21 RBIs in his last 15 games.
And it comes, and that's incredible, that stretch, but it comes right after Brad Ausmus had given him a couple of days off for a regroup.
6-6 in the 6th. Gordon Beckham has doubled and scored. And he was a little late at 97 and sinking. That's 2 strikeouts for Trinan. And Dansby Swanson's coming up. 2 RBI game for Dansby. And he hit an inside the park homer earlier. The single season record for most inside the park homers in a season is 12. And it was Sam Crawford in Cincinnati because the Pigs ate the ball all the time. But Ty Cobb in 1909 had 9 inside the park homers.
Trinan's been in 7 games against the Braves this year, and he's 2-0 with a 1.17 ERA. He's only given up 1 run in 8 2/3 now. There's more action on his fastball tonight than I remember.
Yeah, and I guess for Dusty Baker, it may have been the same thing with Bobby Cox when they had the big 3 in rotation for the Braves. It's a double-edged sword. You have such excellent starting pitching that sometimes your relievers can just rust away down in the bullpen. So tonight's a night when Gio Gonzalez didn't have much. He can get 3 or 4, maybe 5 guys an inning or an inning plus, keep them sharp, and still have plenty of arms left in a very stocked bullpen here in early September. Because that is the balance all the time, rest versus rust for a relief staff. Off the plate, good patience by Swanson. And it's a 2-2 count.
Thank you very much.
Christmas came early. Full count. Another one back to the mound. And an easy 1-2-3 Atlanta 6th for Blake Trinan. He's due second when the Nationals come up in a tie game. Bobblehead nights coming up on the next homestand, including Bobby Cox carried off bobblehead when the Nationals are in town Saturday, September 17th. First 20,000 fans through the gates of Turner Field will get that great giveaway. It's presented by Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines. Go to Braves.com/tickets and get your seats today. Great work by Joel De La Cruz. 2 2/3 innings of 1-hit scoreless relief. And he'll turn things over to Shea Simmons, who's got the bottom of the order for the Nationals in the bottom of the 6th.
And you see there that Shea's return to the big leagues has been a real good one. San Diego and Philadelphia are those 2 outings. And he's come back throwing hard.
Espinosa, the pitcher spot, and then Trey Turner coming up. A wild one in Washington, 6-6. We've seen an inside the park homer and a grand slam in the same game. Both starters, Williams Perez and Gio Gonzalez, allowed 6 runs. So now it's a battle of the pens. And there's that heat, 96 miles an hour. If you don't know the story of Shea Simmons, it's pretty remarkable. It's taken him 2 years to come back from myriad arm trouble. Elbow, shoulder. Long-term problems for Simmons. As that one pops away, Espinosa couldn't find it. And by the time he discovers the baseball, Flowers pounced on it and threw him out. So Simmons strikes out the first man he sees, 1 away in the 6th.
And that has some hard break to it.
Brian Goodwin's going to pinch hit. Trying an impressive, an inning and 2/3 of perfect relief with a couple of strikeouts.
He got the start here yesterday. Had a double in 4 trips.
So Shea Simmons debuted with the Braves May 31st, 2014. Struck out the first batter he faced against the Marlins on 3 pitches. Almost 2 months later, he went to the DL with a right shoulder strain. Then Tommy John surgery, then tendonitis in his right shoulder slowed down his rehab process. That cost him 2 months. He went back to Gwinnett on August 8th and then was recalled August 30th.
His first call up in the big leagues was from AA. Skipped right over AAA.
Kind of like Mauricio Cabrera. And so when you look at Simmons, you think about Simmons, you think about Cabrera, Ian Kroll. There's some really nice young pieces that the Braves have already assembled for their bullpen for September, and then looking ahead to 2017. And that doesn't factor in Arodys Vizcaino, who's hurt right now, or Paco Rodriguez, who's coming back from Tommy John surgery, or Chris Withrow, who's a full season back from Tommy John, or Dan Winkler, who pitched so well before breaking his elbow.
Jesse Biddle too.
That's hit to third. Garcia got the big hop and takes care of Goodwin. 2 outs. And this month, Braves bullpen's done a nice job. 20 innings, 4 earned runs, 21 strikeouts coming in, 4 walks, a 1.80 ERA.
Real solid. There have been opportunities to hold leads, to turn it over to the end of the game guys. Tonight, a lot of long relief, or a lot of innings to cover up, I should say, and a great job by De La Cruz.
A shot down the right field line by Trey Turner. Markakis can't get it. It's under his glove and up against the wall, and Turner's going to make it to third base. You make a mistake, that's going to cost you at least one set of bases. And Turner's 90 feet away with 2 outs.
There should be a double and an error. But the scorekeeping here has been strange at best. Fought that one off. And as soon as he sees it get under Nick's glove, an easy trip for him.
And it is a double and an error, the 4th for Nick. And now Jason Worth is coming up with a pair of strikeouts, a single, and a run scored. So 17 hits for Turner against the Braves this year. Worth hasn't been so fortunate. He is 8 for 41 at the plate against Atlanta. Just a fraction off the plate, but it did miss. 1 ball, no strikes.
.222 average with the runners in scoring position and 2 out.
Don't want to get to Murphy.
Trust your stuff.
That's pop fly headed for the stands. Jason Worth very nearly went to the University of Georgia on a baseball scholarship. Two balls and a strike. Even count.
Nice comeback. Trusted his fastball through slider for a strike. Well done.
Instead of going to Athens, Worth was a #1 pick of the Orioles and signed with them in '97. Now the 2-2, who is served out of play. That's exactly where Flowers wanted that pitch.
Tried to get him to chase. Didn't do it. Now they've got some choices, and one of them is the slider. Get him to get himself out. He's aggressive. He wants to get that go-ahead run in. One with #1.
And Worth spoiled it.
Yeah, and that was a really good pitch. Now something different.
Popped him up. And Dansby Swanson puts the squeeze on that, and Shea Simmons with a scoreless 6th inning of work. Pitcher's spot will start the 7th. We're still tied up. Well, a wild first 3.5 innings here in Washington. That's when all the offense took place. We had an inside the park homer by Dansby Swanson. Anthony Rendon hit a go-ahead grand slam. Ryan Zimmerman golfed one to right center field. The Braves, though, countered with a couple of runs themselves in the 4th inning to tie it up, and that's your Mazda game summary.
Needless to say, you don't see any pitchers on the game summary. It's all offense tonight. Ender's extended his hitting streak to, what is it now, 17 games?
Yes, sir.
So he's staying hot, and of course the big thrill for Dansby, and what a way to get that first big league homer.
Another power arm for the Nationals. It's Sean Kelly. He is the 4th reliever, 5th pitcher tonight for Dusty Baker, and he'll face Jace Peterson, who pinch hits to start the Atlanta 7th. 8 straight Braves have been retired by the Washington Relief Corps. And that stays high. Jace has a hit in each of his last 3 games.
Yeah, he's been swinging the bat real well. He's playing good baseball. Finishing up strong.
And he just took strike 3 on a very generous corner. 1 out.
He just took ball 1 for strike 3. Wide. Kelly, as you see, throws hard. He's got a slider. He's in the low to mid 90s. And a good job for Dusty Baker. But he got some help there.
Back to the top. Ender Inciarte. He's 2 for 3. Cool thing about Inciarte's hit streak is not only its length, but the amount of hits that he's picked up. 17 games with 32 hits. And that one's rocketed towards short. Espinosa's got it, and 2 are out. They're taking nothing away from anybody who has a hit streak of any kind, but 30 hits in 17 games is a whole lot different than 12 hits during a 12-game hit streak.
He came in tonight 30 for 70 in 16 straight, and as you said, now 2 for 4. That's dancing Bobcat material.
And he's mad that he made it out.
Because he hit it hard. Right at him.
Another multi-hit game for Adonis Garcia. He's hit safely in 7 of 8. He has 14 hits in that stretch. Then you factor in Freddie Freeman, a 13-game hitting streak. Top 3 hitters for the Braves have made things very uncomfortable for the opposing managers.
That hit by Turner was the first hit by either side since the 4th inning. Two and 2.
line down the left field line, but that's going to reach the seats. We're a fan from Annapolis makes the play.
And dropped the ball and lost it.
Yep.
She's already looking around like he's only had it 5 seconds and he's lost it.
Good battle for Adonis here in the 7th. Sean Kelly is out of the stretch. He's gotten the first 2 Braves hitters. And a bounty ball to first, short hop handled by Zimmerman. And we head to the 7th inning stretch. Murphy, Harper, and Rendon are coming up. We're still tied. For Daniel Murphy, the Nationals' second baseman, is off to a 3-for-3 start. He entered play 4 points behind DJ LeMahieu for the top spot in the batting title chase. And as Joe mentioned, he is a legitimate most valuable player candidate for the Nationals.
No doubt about it. Of course, the 2 guys in the middle have been getting all the headlines because from start to finish this year, Bryant and Rizzo have been doing a lot of damage in the National League Central. But Nolan Arenado leads the National League in RBIs and tied for first in homers with Chris Bryant. So he may be farther west than anybody else. He's certainly not too far from everybody's thought process on the MVP.
And I sure hope that there's no Coors Field anti-Coors Field bias against Nolan Arenado.
Well, and 3 Gold Gloves already under his belt. He's an outstanding defender too.
Well, Ian Kroll is on. He'll try to calm down Murphy, who's a perfect 3-for-3. And a quick strike from Kroll. Murphy, Harper, and Rendon, 2 left-hand batters, and then the Nationals' third baseman. 6-6 in the 7th. That's what you like to see. He's up 0-2.
2 good fastballs. He's got quick hands. Takes very little stride. In fact, he practically just kind of picks his right heel up and puts it back down. Gives him a little longer look and allows him to keep his hands back.
Strike three, a rare strikeout of Murphy, who didn't like the call. Have a seat, Murph. One down.
I didn't swing. Raise the strike zone. Good job by Cole.
Here's Harper. Bryce is 1 for 3. Then Atlanta will shift on Harper, and this is another area that has really taken a bite out of his batting average.
Yeah, especially this year.
That's what he did last year. And an encouraging sign for the Nationals, as you mentioned, the last 21 games, Bryce Harper's swinging the bat like the MVP he was last year, because this year, not nearly that kind of success.
130 plus points off your average against the shift this year, so needless to say, teams are going to continue to do that. Kroll gets one man, leaves with a runner at first.
He did strike out Murphy, but he gave up the opposite field hit to Harper, and the Braves go deeper into their bullpen. Six game. Chip and Joe with you from Nationals Park. Anthony Rendon, a third inning villain.
You got a sinker that didn't sink, and on an 0-2 count, turned the game around. His 17th homer.
First career grand slam. Zaxby's indescribably good play. Washington added a 5th run in that 3rd inning to take a 2-run lead. The Braves tied it with 2 themselves in the 4th, and that's where we stand in this battle of the bullpens. It's Jose Ramirez's turn to pitch.
3rd appearance for him on the road trip. An inning each in the first 2 with 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts.
Away from Flowers, who did a heck of a job to keep that ball within 20 feet.
Yeah, I'm surprised Harper still didn't go. Taking ball off the glove and chest protector.
Runner goes. Pitch a strike. Throw to second. Oh, short hop. And Harper's in safely. And that's his 20th stolen base.
Thought they had a good crack at him, but the throw was too short. Beckham did a good job of deking him so he didn't get up and think about going to third.
So dangerous man Rendon. A hit means a run for the Nationals potentially. And another blazing strike. It's 1-2.
Ramirez pitched against the Nationals 3 times in late August, the 18th, the 20th, and the 21st at Turner Field. 1 inning each outing, only 2 hits allowed, 1 unearned run, no walks, and he struck out 4.
Good try, but too far off the plate. And a 2-2 count coming for Rendon.
And it goes back to that Worth at bat with a runner at third and 2 out for Simmons. Trust your stuff. He made a good pitch with a fastball to get the count back, and then got him to pop up a slider. So whatever you feel good about right here, trust it. Let it go.
Roller out towards second. That takes care of Rendon. Harper's at third. 2 outs.
And it was a slider. Good pitch. Good location. Got him to swing. 2 out. It's at bats like these that these young guys are going through. They're only going to make them better next year. You know, there's nothing seriously on the line here. The outcome of this game is certainly, but the big picture is not in jeopardy. You know, the postseason's not in jeopardy. But next year, maybe it is. Maybe there are a lot of ramifications to even 1 out in an inning. So these types of situations for guys like Ramirez will make them better.
And now he faces Ramos, who's 0 for 3 in tonight's game. Line to center. Inciarte got a great jump. Still going. He got there a step shy of the track. That ball was crushed. And Ender Inciarte tracked it down. And Bryce Harper is left stranded at third for the Nationals.
An immediate turn and race to the ball.
We head to the 8th inning, and Freddie Freeman will lead off for the Braves. A big day for Freddie, announced as the National League Player of the Week today. 4th time that's happened in his career, and those numbers certainly make that decision understandable.
600 on base percentage. That'll get your attention.
And Oliver Perez will try to get Freddie Freeman's attention. He enters the game in relief. Tied up 6 apiece. Freeman, Kemp, and Markakis. And yes, Dusty Baker is going to throw left-handers at Freddie Freeman every chance he gets in this tie game.
If you've never seen Oliver Perez pitch, you're in for a real treat. It's somewhat of a show. There might be 4 or 5 different deliveries. Turn his back to home plate, sidearm, over the top. Never know.
There's the sidearm version, and a tricky hop handled by Murphy for the first out. When we last saw the Nationals, I believe Oliver Perez was the lone lefty they had in their bullpen, and he had not been pitching very effectively. With that in mind, the Nationals knew they had to give Dusty Baker and Mike Maddox a few options. They had done that. They brought Matt Grace up from the minor leagues. You saw Sean Burnett, and Mark Zepchinski was acquired from Oakland in late August. So Dusty Baker will continue to play matchup. He will make yet another pitching change. All smiles for the Nationals skipper as the game remains tied. West performs after the game Sunday, September 18th. A free concert at Turner Field. Limited VIP field passes are available for the show. They're just $10 a piece. Act fast by attending Braves.com/faithday today. It's Coda Glover's turn to pitch. He is the 6th Nationals reliever. Kemp, Markakis, and Flowers are scheduled. Bases are empty. 1 is out.
Well, I'll say this for their pen. They've done the job. Only hitter to reach was De La Cruz when he got the hit off of Belle Isle.
Sent sprawling backwards after that pitch buzzed to the tower. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, remember, this guy almost hit Beckham in the head last night. I mean, it came real close to hitting him right in the helmet. So we begin to wonder if it was an accident or not.
Popped up. Espinosa at short will make the play. And Glover retires his first batter. Nationals have a couple of familiar names in their relief corps. Remember Matt Latos? Latos signed as a minor league free agent with the Nationals in early July after he was let go. You've got Yusmeiro Petit. He's been around a while. Another righty down there. So a lot of depth for the Nationals. As this one smoked by Markakis toward left center, and Turner will track it down. Nice work by Coda Glover. A pop out and a fly out sends us to the home eighth. Still tied up.
Atlanta Braves baseball is sponsored by your local Toyota dealers, Let's Go Places, the Georgia Lottery, and Zaxby's Indescribably Good.
Game tied as we head to the bottom of the eighth inning. We'll talk about it on Braves Live, presented by Xfinity. This one's turned into a battle of the bullpens. 2 combined hits since the start of the 5th inning between the Braves and Nationals tonight. Crazy game early. A stifling pitching matchup since the early frames. Ryan Zimmerman leads off and takes the ball 1-0. Up and in. That spun Zimmerman out of there like a tornado. 3 balls and a strike.
Just getting some of the plate back. And turnabout's fair play.
That hurts. Leadoff walk in the 8th.
First walk of the ball game, I think.
You're correct. That's going to be the end of the line for Zimmerman. Washington will bring on Michael Taylor, and he's a speedster. He'll pinch run.
Robinson out on deck to pinch hit for the pitcher. So very well could be a bunt situation here.
Ooh, that was close. How many bunts does Espinosa have? You might ask. He has 5. Washington does not have that many. They have 39. In fact, you look up and down their active roster. Of the 39 sacrifice bunts, only 8 of them are from position players. Revere has 2, Robinson has 1, Espinosa has the other 5.
They got too much thunder. You know, they got guys that can hit the ball in the ballpark, so the skipper preferring to play for bigger innings in most cases, but this late in the ball game he had Espinosa squared around, a guy he has used to bunt before, as you said.
Melanson is up in the Nationals bullpen in case Washington takes the lead here. Pitch.
This is also a situation and a learning situation for the Nationals. Kind of a postseason type setup where you, whether you like it or not, you need to put the bunt down at home, maybe to try and win a ball game.
That was biting in on Espinosa's hands, and he fouled it to the brick wall. 1-2 now. Maybe you're wrong. Those aren't bricks back. That must be limestone or something. Maybe granite. But you get the drift. The hard, impermeable surface behind home plate.
Yeah.
See if the bunt's still on with 2 strikes. Nope. 2-2. Light crowd tonight, 17,161. A school night after Labor Day. And they who have attended have seen a wild one. Runner goes, pitch inside, throw to second, no chance. Great stab by Swanson to keep that from sailing into center field. So a steal for Taylor. He's in scoring position, and Espinosa is still alive.
Well, you can't hang all the stolen bases on the catcher, but that has been an area of concern for Tyler Flowers. He's only thrown out 1 of 45.
Full count. And that skips up there. Espinosa was trying to give the Braves an out. And it's back-to-back walks by Ramirez here in the 8th inning. So it's going to be Ben Revere.
A good bunter. But Ramirez needs a strikeout or two. That seems to be how he has gotten out of most of the jams and tight spots he's been in.
Freeman and Adonis Garcia pinch in at first and third. There's the bunt. Flowers pounce. He's going to throw to third. He's going to throw it to left field, and the run is in. And the runners move to second and third. Flowers took a chance. He was off stride. He threw it away. And Washington takes a 7-6 lead.
He tried to make the play like a third baseman would, coming in and throwing off the wrong leg, and was well wide of the mark. Adonis is trying to hustle back, so a tough play for him too, to try to get back to the bag and then pick up the throw.
So the Nationals manufacture a run, 2 walks, a steal, a throwing error. And now Trey Turner's up with the infield in, nobody out, and a 7-6 score.
Braves defense has been real tight over the last month plus. A couple of errors tonight.
Jazro begins to loosen up as the pitches begin to pile up for Ramirez.
He worked an inning last night, struck out a couple.
Broken bat line drive into left center field's going to score 2 more. And Trey Turner does it again. 2 more hits against the Braves. He has 12 of his 27 RBIs against Atlanta this year. And the Nationals have scored 3 eighth-inning runs.
And it did shatter his bat. End of it. Breaks. Flies off. Infield in. Dropped it out over everybody that was already pulled in.
Hits for Washington, but the 2 walks sealed the fate of Ramirez. Second one especially hurt because Espinosa was trying to give the Braves an out. Couldn't get a sacrifice down. He walked. Then Revere bunted. Flowers tried to throw out the lead runner at third base. The ball sailed into left field. And then Turner provided a broken bat 2-run hit. Got to keep an eye on him. He's a 20 steal man. Runner goes and fouled away.
What an addition to their lineup Turner has been, to put him at the top of the order no matter where he's playing defensively.
2 strikes for Worth. Turner the first Washington Nationals rookie with 20 or more steals. He's the first National or Expo with 20 or more steals since Mike Lansing did it in his rookie year. That's on rookies, obviously. 0-2 pitch. Broken bat and ball head to third. Adonis picked up the right object and threw out Worth. Runner to second. 1 away.
You know, 2 bats sawed off, but one of them produced 2 runs. Talk about power of concentration.
Turner in scoring position for Murphy, who complained about being struck out his last time up. That's nothing new.
I'm going to put him on.
Wow, wonder how many times this has happened. Walk someone intentionally to get to Bryce Harper. The Braves are playing for a ground ball. We'll see how it works out. It's the 9th time Murphy has been intentionally walked this year. It's an assumption that many of those, if not most of them, have come with Harper hitting behind him. We'll see how it works out. 3rd walk of the inning. And 2 are on, 1 away. Harper knows a thing or two about being walked. He leads the Nationals club by a wide margin with 95 walks, 16 of them intentionally. A great deal of those came in the head-to-head series between the Nationals and Cubs. It was a strategy that Joe Madden employed to great success. So 3 runs across. Harper hits with men at first and second.
Joey Votto leads the National League, coming into play tonight with 99 walks. We need to try and make Harper's aggressiveness here with runners on and having walked Murphy in front of him, use that aggressiveness against him.
Harper's the 7th man to hit in the inning.
Throw the slider, keep it away from him. He did a nice job his last time up of going the other way.
Hey, the Mets came back and won tonight. They beat the Reds 5-3.
13-0 against Cincinnati.
Cardinals lead the Pirates 8-6. That's a comeback. Phillies held on, beat Miami 4-3. Marlins have lost 10 of 11. The other National League action still ongoing or just getting started. Here it's 9-6 Nationals. Pitch to Harper. Swing and a miss.
A rare changeup from Ramirez.
Can he cover the outside part of the plate?
Oh,
consistently, I guess.
When he wants to, but we've talked about his swing a lot, about how everything is, he kind of turns that right hip, front hip in, and then everything starts coming away from the plate.
.7-mile-an-hour fastball missed inside. And it popped out of the glove of Tyler Flowers. Tough break. They had it by Harper. That's two that have popped out of Flowers' glove. That's a tough break.
Yeah, it is.
And really, that's a luck play.
It is. It pretty much is if it sticks in the glove. Took a little off again. Had his weight on his heels and just somehow got a piece of it.
So 2 free swings for Harper.
And again, you ask if he could cover it. He has on the last 2 pitches. Not very well. He's just fouled him off to see another pitch.
Melanson's hot. He's ready for the top of the 9th.
If you throw something in and you can pitch him in with a fastball here at 97 with what Ramirez has. But you've got to be belt high or above. You've got to try and tie up his bat a little bit so it can't get extended. Down and in. No.
Harper's ready for his 9th pitch. Runners go. Swing and a miss. Throw to third is late.
To Jose's credit, he threw him another changeup. Full count. Runners going. Another changeup. Got the strikeout.
Turner and Murphy with the double steal are at second and third, and Rendon is going to be the hitter. The Braves might be taking a look at the play at third to see if Turner was out on the throw.
He stepped on Adonis's foot. So with his foot on the bag or on the foot.
Well, Bryant's going to first take Ramirez out of the ball game. Another look.
I'll call him safe.
Yeah, I think he is safe. And the night is over for Jose Ramirez. The 3 runs across belong to him. 9-6 Nats.
Is presented by authority of the Atlanta Braves and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Atlanta Braves.
Another pitching change, this time by Brian Snitker. Chaz Rowe becomes the 5th Atlanta reliever to work in tonight's game. The Nationals have used 6.
The first game for him, and he pitched last night, pitched well.
Second and third for Anthony Rendon, his first career grand slam. An offensive highlight tonight. And he was tied up. Strike one. It's been an entertaining game. The Braves offense has been locked up. The last Brave with a base hit was Joel De La Cruz, who tied the game with a 4th inning single. Belle-Isle, Burnett, Trinan, Kelly, Perez, and Glover have all pitched in relief. For Washington, and it looks like Mark Melanson is going to come on with a 3-run lead at the very least for the 9th.
He pitched last night with a 4-run lead.
And a swing and a miss. Rendon is retired by Rowe. 3 pitches. Mercifully ends the 8th. 8 come to the plate, 3 score thanks to 2 walks, a bunt, and a throwing error. We go to the 9th.
Baseball is presented by Mazda, Georgia Power, and Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
9-6 Washington. We go to the top of the 9th inning. This is a safe situation for Mark Melanson, as he will be backed up by Michael Taylor in center field. Trey Turner moves to second base, and Daniel Murphy moves to first. But again, you go back to what we were talking about yesterday afternoon. With a 4-run lead, Dusty Baker brings on his closer, and Melanson gave up 2 runs through a lot of pitches. Now he's going to use him in back-to-back games with a 3-run lead. You wonder how much he's got in the tank tonight.
Braves actually brought the tying run to the plate a couple of times in the 9th inning last night against him. They started the inning with 3 straight singles off of him. A double play was instrumental in getting him out of the jam. But tonight it is a safe situation. He's going for his 39th of the year combined between the Pirates and Nats.
Yeah, this is his 18th outing with Washington. 15 2/3 innings of work for Melanson. And he'll face Tyler Flowers, who's batting in the 6th spot for the Braves. Atlanta looking for its first hit since the 4th. And Tyler had a good cut, fouled away, strike one. Tyler scored the 5th Braves run. That was in the 4th inning. Nationals relief corps has retired 14 straight hitters. Fultonevich, and a pitcher that will be named, I'm sure, after the game tonight. More likely than not, it'll be Steven Strasburg. We'll have game 3 for you at 7 o'clock. Braves live at 6:30.
Yeah, we saw this when Washington was in Atlanta. We saw Max Scherzer doing the chart. First time we've seen a team do that in a long time.
Flowers down the right field line. That is a fair ball. So here we go. The Braves with a leadoff double against Melanson, and that puts a little more spring in the visitors' steps. Good start to the inning. That's the 10th Atlanta hit.
Something tumbling up there that didn't do much. Nice job by Tyler to put it in play and find a spot for it. That's the 5th hit against Melanson out of the last 7 Braves hitters he's faced. Cutters, curveballs. Looked like kind of a hanging cutter, if you will, that Flowers was able to fight off.
Tapper up the middle. Runner to third. Beckham's retired. 1 out in the 9th. 2 RBI game for Dansby Swanson. If you missed the 2nd inning, you missed some history.
It only took 14.9 seconds, but it was awfully fun to watch.
I think that's the most exciting play in baseball. Inside the park homer attempt.
Tell you what, it lit up that dugout.
Only thing better than a 2 RBI night would be a 3 RBI night, or maybe 4. And that one got away, but Flowers will hang at third base. 1 ball, no strikes. A.J. Przinsky's grabbed a bat. He'll hit for Rowe. But first things first, Dansby Swanson. 1 ball, no strikes. Tried to check it, and unfortunately he couldn't. 1 ball, 1 strike.
The runs he gave up last night were only the 2nd and 3rd charge to Melanson since he came to Washington.
Lined and into right center field, a base hit. Dansby Swanson with a 3 RBI night. That scores Tyler Flowers. And can you believe it? The Braves will again bring the potential tying run to the plate against Melanson in the ninth.
It's outstanding. Dansby, pretty much his approach is pretty much to go up the middle of the right field. Inside out balls, stay inside the baseball. If he gets something, a mistake or a hanger inside, he'll turn on it. But his approach has been consistent since he got here to hit the ball right where he hit this one. And it was a cutter, didn't do much. And Turner, who's moved into second base, couldn't come up with it.
AJ's 2 for 5 against Melanson in his career, and he had a good cut at that one, buzzing in on his hands. Strike 1. If AJ can reach, then you've got Inciarte and Garcia and Freeman, and then the fun really starts. Braves are down 2, 9-7. Taking away the effort by the Braves offense 2 games ago against the Phillies when they scored 2. You look at the run totals: 4, 2, 6, 8, 9, 8, 7. Tonight, 7 more runs.
Comes a cutter in. AJ knows it. He knows how he likes to work the left-handers.
Another lefty waits on deck, Ender Inciarte. Shot toward the left side. Rendon underhand flip to second, one on to first, to double play. And Melanson survives the 9th inning. He gives up a run on 2 hits, but he seals the deal, and the Nationals have won the series, and they won tonight's game by a final score of 9-7.